Hello everyone, my name is Brett Keane and I'm sitting here chilling. Um, as you know, a while back I had said that I quit doing videos and everything. I think that I'm going to stick with what I said, but I'm going to quit doing particular videos, like videos about religion as well as politics and such. I might every once in a while make a mention or say the word God or something, or if I'm doing a review of a movie or a book or something going on in society that might be involved in it, maybe might bring it up. But I think that I'm going to start doing movie reviews as well as game reviews and critical stuff, recreation stuff in society, as opposed to talking about this. I find that every time I talk about religion or I talk about government, I tend to see my damn web pages being shut down, closed, and my videos put down. Now, I like my illusionary freedom of speech. I like the idea of believing that I somehow have some kind of right to say the things that I want to and talk about what I want, but that's clearly not the fucking case. I've also thought about I might do a little bit on blog TV and shit if it gets enough of a gathering and stuff to even do that. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with also talking about bands and musicians and stuff like that in the past. One band I wanted to talk about in general is Metallica. So I'm going to start with talking about Metallica. I think that Metallica really blew it by the Black Album. By that time, Enter the Sandman, Sad But True, Wherever I May Roam, The Struggle Within, these type of songs were really good, The Unforgiven. But after that, whenever they started getting into the era of load, reload, unload, shitload, buttload, fuckload, and all this kind of stuff, and of course that Saint one that they just did, it was so horrid that I can't even, my mind has been traumatized to the point where I can't even remember it, and I've always been considered a guy with a pretty good goddamn memory. But Metallica, I think that they failed miserably, and I also watched a movie with them recently called Monster, where they have Dave Mustaine, who was formerly a guitar player in the band and now is the leader of Megadeth. Dave Mustaine, he's had a lot of problems in the past and everything, but to watch him sitting in a room with Metallica crying and dribbling and shit and watching these guys talk about how hard their lives are and how tough it is for them to go making millions of dollars and stuff, and also suing the fuck out of Napster for allowing the sharing ability of songs. You know, it's funny because I read this thing, I believe in Hit Parade or something like that, or Circus, where Steve Tyler from the band Aerosmith actually encouraged that the music be shared or given the ability for people to be able to listen to the songs, because believe it or not, in his day, and this is also the same for a lot of musicians in our time and day, one of the ways that musicians make it in the music business is by sharing their music, by actually going out and playing live. This is the ability to share your music. They also would sell demos and sometimes actually give them away free to radio stations. Why did they give them away free to radio stations? Because they were begging and pleading to have their talent and their skill, if they had any, to be played on the radio so they could be heard and make some fucking money. Well, there's no difference between the internet and the radio, really. The internet is freely, there are people out there who are fans who are actually broadcasting and sharing these music files so people could be interested. Most people, I would think, that if they enjoy what they hear, they will buy the goddamn music. They'll buy the CDs and shit if they think it's good enough and they feel like this, because a lot of people realize that if you just download all the songs for free and you never buy a CD or anything, then James Hetfield can't get his new fucking pool and car and shit. We don't want the dude being unhappy and not want to do music no more. So, you know, we want to make sure that Lars Ulrich can have 50 drum sets sitting around his fucking mansion and shit, or the guy's not going to be pleased, you know. He has to kind of knock it up a little bit. So, it is ridiculous, and Steve Tyler is clearly a very intelligent lead singer. He said that he thinks that we should share music and share information. We share everything else on the internet. The internet to me is like the Library of Alexandria. It's got all the unforbidden information on it. It's got stuff that can teach people things who may not have the resources to get the book, or be able to have the ability to be able to get the kind of knowledge that they're looking to obtain. So that's how I see it. So I want to provide like a service myself, is where I share information and I talk about what is a good movie to watch, so you don't go out and waste your fucking money on some stupid shit. One of the things that I've learned about musicians all the way throughout the 70s to the 80s and 90s, which I was born in 1976, is a lot of bands, they make like 2 hit songs, maybe one, and usually 90% of the other songs on the CD are total shit. They'll never get radio play because they suck balls so bad. And a lot of people would spend $15, $20 because they heard the hit song on the radio and assume that the rest of the songs were good. A lot of musicians are lazy. They try to throw as many songs out there to fill up a CD as they can, and they only seem to concern themselves with a couple of how good it'll be. That's one of the reasons why I think it's awesome now that you can go on the internet and buy that individual song that you want, as opposed to buying the whole CD. Now bands, whenever they're making a CD or going to the studio, they have to challenge themselves and work harder. Now they have to think, look, if I want my CD bought, I'm going to have to fucking make all hit songs and shit. I'm going to try to make the best songs I can, as opposed to a couple, and then fucking smooth people into buying their bullshit. Same with a fucking movie. Same with the fucking movies. There's too many goddamn movies out there where they keep using the same storyline and copying the same shit. Seem like they keep finding fucking writers and developers and producers right off the corner of the street like a prostitute to get their shit together. Nobody wants to make a good movie anymore with a good storyline. Now we're just going to fucking suck dick like everybody else in the 80s. So that's what I think, and I'm going to keep doing reviews like this that are controversial and phenomenal. But music and also television has become almost like a religion as well, so I might get fucking the ass in this shit too. But at least I'm going to try to entertain and do what I've always been doing best, and that's emit electricity. Just smell what the rock is cooking.